Have you ever thought that something sitting in your fridge every day, bright, sweet, seemingly the symbol of health, might quietly be harming your heart? I know it sounds strange, doesn't it? Since childhood, we've been told that eating lots of fruit is good for us, and it's true. Fruit is one of nature's greatest gifts. But after the age of 50, your body doesn't function the way it used to. The liver weakens, the kidneys slow down, and blood vessels become more fragile. What kept you healthy at 20 might actually cause trouble at 60. I remember one of my patients, Mary, 65, came in looking anxious. "Doctor, I don't understand why my blood sugar and blood pressure keep going up. I don't eat cakes, I don't drink soda." I asked, "So what do you eat every day?" She smiled proudly. "Just fruits. Bananas, mangoes, orange juice, sometimes a handful of raisins." When I explained that her morning smoothie of mango and banana alone contained more than 12 teaspoons of natural sugar, she fell silent. I can still recall her eyes, a mix of surprise and confusion. Think of your body as a finely tuned machine that's been working hard for 50 or 60 years. It's still strong, but it needs gentler care now. It can't handle overloads the way it once did. When you constantly flood it with sugar, even natural sugar from fruit, your body has to fight to keep balance. The liver works overtime, insulin levels spike, and over time, your blood vessels harden, your heart grows tired, your brain gets less oxygen, until one day, a stroke or heart attack strikes. Suddenly, like lightning on a clear day. But I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this to wake you up. Because true health doesn't come from eating more good things. It comes from understanding what your body truly needs and how much it can handle. You see, fruit isn't bad, it's how we eat it that matters. A few grapes? Great, but a whole bunch every night? Too much. A slice of mango? Lovely. But 2 ripe mangoes a day? That's a sugar spike waiting to happen. I've met many people in their 60s and 70s who say they eat clean, yet their test results tell a different story. Because their bodies have changed, but their habits haven't. So before you pour another glass of orange juice or take another sweet bite of pineapple, pause for just a moment and ask yourself, am I nourishing my body or just pleasing the taste buds of my younger self? If you can stop and reflect, you've already taken a big step toward protecting your health. Because while we can't turn back time, we can absolutely grow wiser. Fruit is still a gift, but only for those who know how to cherish it wisely. And you know, when I tell my patients that not every fruit is a friend to those over 50, they often look at me like I've said something outrageous. But I just smile and share a few real stories. Because sometimes a story teaches more than any medical lecture ever could. I remember Mr. James, a 70-year-old man from Florida. He had eaten a banana every morning, faithfully for 20 years. But recently, he began experiencing heart palpitations and occasional dizziness. When we ran his blood tests, his potassium levels were unusually high. It turned out he was taking diuretics, and the extra potassium from the bananas had thrown off his heart rhythm. He looked at me in disbelief and said, "It's just a banana, doctor." I smiled and replied, "Yes, but your 70-year-old body doesn't handle potassium the same way it did at 30. Or take grapes, that sweet, innocent fruit everyone loves. Grapes are high in fructose and vitamin K, which can interfere with blood thinners, medications that many older adults rely on. One elderly lady once told me, "I eat grapes for my heart." I smiled gently and said, "Yes, but sometimes the very thing we think is good for the heart makes it work even harder." And then there's mango, that golden, tropical delight that smells like sunshine. But did you know a single ripe mango can contain over 40 grams of sugar, about 8 teaspoons? If you're trying to manage your weight, blood sugar, or cholesterol, that one mango could undo an entire day of healthy eating. Another one I often warn my patients about is dried fruit, raisins, dried apricots, dried apples. They sound healthy, right? But once the water is removed, the sugars become 5 to 10 times more concentrated. A small handful of raisins, that you might think is nothing, can equal 25 teaspoons of sugar. They cause blood sugar to spike sharply, then crash, leaving you tired, hungry, and craving even more sweets. I also recall Mr. Robert, 68, who loved his morning glass of orange juice. He believed it was a great source of vitamin C and heart protection. But after a few months, his blood sugar climbed and his liver showed signs of fat buildup. I told him, "Robert, oranges are wonderful, but only when you eat the whole fruit with the pulp and fiber. When we juice, we throw away the fiber and keep only the sugar, which the body absorbs even faster than soda. And there are so many others: pineapple, watermelon, smoothie bowls, even acai bowls, all perfectly fine in moderation, but harmful when we overdo it. The problem isn't the fruit itself. It's that we forget our limits. We eat to comfort our fatigue, our aging, our emptiness, but the body doesn't need our sympathy. It needs our understanding and respect. I always tell my patients, eat fruit like an adult, slowly, mindfully, and knowing when to stop. If you eat half a banana instead of a whole one, combine grapes with cheese or almonds to slow sugar absorption, or enjoy mango alongside greens, you'll notice your body feels lighter, steadier, and calmer after meals. After 50, health is no longer a race to see who can eat the most superfoods. It's about who understands their body best. Fruit isn't the enemy, we just have to relearn how to be friends with it. We don't eat fruit to feel young again, we eat it to feel at peace in our own bodies. You know, after more than 30 years in medicine, the moments that move me most aren't the illnesses I've cured. They're the people who've learned to live slower and healthier. Many of them once believed that the more fruit, the better. But in the end, they discovered what true health really means. Not more, but enough and right. I often tell my patients, fruit isn't the problem, it's our bodies that have changed. At 50, 60, or 70, our bodies are like gardens that have weathered many seasons. Everything can still bloom beautifully, but it requires more delicate care. Too little water, and the plants wither; too much, and the roots drown. Eating is the same way. Learning moderation is learning self-love. So, what's the secret to eating fruit the right way after 50? I usually share 3 simple principles, and if you truly practice them, they can completely change how you feel in your own body. 1. Eat whole, not juiced, not refined. Don't let that glass of juice fool you into thinking you're living healthily. When you juice fruit, you remove the most important part, the fiber. Fiber is what helps you control blood sugar, lower cholesterol, and nourish your gut microbiome. Eat the orange, don't drink the orange juice. Have a small slice of mango instead of a full glass of mango smoothie. When you chew, your body activates digestion, awareness, and satisfaction, things no blender can ever do for you. 2. Combine smartly. Try pairing fruit with a bit of healthy fat, like almonds, Greek yogurt, or a small piece of cheese. This slows sugar absorption, keeps your energy steady, and prevents those sharp spikes and crashes that damage blood vessels in the brain. One of my patients, Linda, 65, once said, "I used to think apples with cheese were just a kid's snack, but after a month my blood pressure and sugar levels finally stabilized." I smiled and told her, "No, that's a snack for people who truly listen to their bodies." 3. Respect your limits. Every body has its own limit. Like a clock that has ticked faithfully for decades, it needs gentle adjustment, not force. You don't need much fruit each day, just 2 to 3 small servings, balanced with greens, protein, and plenty of water. Don't eat out of fear of illness. Don't eat out of guilt. Eat because you understand what your body needs. Sometimes health isn't about what you eat, it's about how you treat yourself while eating. Remember this, fruit is a gift of nature, but nature also teaches us the law of balance. The sun rises and sets, flowers bloom and fade. Everything has its rhythm and limit. And when we learn to honor that limit, we begin to live more peacefully, more healthfully every day. My friend, if today's video helped you see fruit in a gentler, wiser way, that's the first step toward truly smart self-care. Share this message with someone you love, because sometimes just one small change in eating habits can prevent a stroke and save a life. Before you go, I want you to ask yourself, tomorrow, will I eat to live longer or just to feel full? If you choose the first, then I believe your heart has already begun its healing journey. I'm Dr. Mark. Thank you for listening. Love your body the way you want it to stay with you for a long time. And don't forget to subscribe. Every week we'll learn together how to live healthier and happier, one simple step at a time.